unprecedented times. I'm one of your hosts, Micah. You'll be meeting my co-host here in a few minutes, Catherine Blanco. But for the time being, I just want you to sit there and sit tight, because you might be thinking, what am I doing here? Why am I watching this? Well, if I were to give a quick definition of unprecedented times, I would say it's a bit like a late show in the style of Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, those other British dudes who are on TV. It's like one of those, except there are two key differences. One of them is we don't have a multi-million-dollar budget, and two is I'm not those other guys, so you have to bear with me. So you might be sitting there thinking, so why should I watch this? And my pitch to you is you have nothing better to do right now. So welcome to unprecedented times. If you're sitting at home thinking, wow, the last few months have been really difficult, and maybe you're thinking ahead to the upcoming semester with some trepidation. And look, I totally get that. That's okay. The last few months have unquestionably been probably some of the hardest of our lives. For example, our corporate overlords realized that we were even so insecure and afraid that they started trying to boost our self-esteem. So, for example, we have Starbucks saying towards the beginning, things are changing, but we're here for you. It's like, oh, thank you, Starbucks. Now I can have a Frappuccino and my lungs can fail. That's really awesome. Or take Walmart, for example. Walmart, there are only two places worse than Walmart. That would be the DMV and literal hell. They say, we're doing everything within our strength to help our community, our friends, our family, our associates. And I think, that sounds like something that would be on the Hillsong website. Like, Walmart's not a church. Right? It's not, right? Okay, never, better not to think about that, right? But we're in difficult times, but we're thinking ahead to the semester, and we're thinking, it's time now to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and get strong, get tough, get ready. So in order to do that, I want to flip back in time a little bit and think about ourselves back in the blissful days of February 2020. Imagine yourself, it's a Monday morning, and you've woken up, you've taken a shower, you've eaten breakfast, you're not miserable, you put on pants, and you're ready to go take on the world. Amazing. Now, think forward a couple days, still in February 2020, before COVID, before all of this, and imagine yourself on a Friday night. You get home, it's been really cold outside, so you've got your big coat on and your nose is freezing cold, but your back's a little sweaty, which is a really gross combination. So you walk in, kind of peel off all your clothes, and you flop down on the couch. And you think, what could I do with my Friday night? And you think, I've got it. I've only watched The Office 6 times. I think I need to start on my 7th. So you sit down and watch 6 episodes of The Office back to back. And as you're starting the 7th, a voice in the back of your head, maybe it's your conscience, maybe it's God, it says to you, dinner. You need to eat. You need to take care of yourself. And you go, oh, right, of course. So you stand up and you go to the freezer and you get a frozen pizza and you throw it in the oven and you go back and watch 2 more episodes of The Office. Of course, that's about 40 minutes. So at the end of that, you're starting to smell a burning smell in your nose. And you think, oh, that's the pizza. So you stagger over to the pizza and you pull it out. And like that first bite of a frozen pizza, where the cheese on the top is still not cooked, so it's a little crumbly, and then the bottom is still molten. It's disgusting, right? But you eat the whole thing right there, one sitting, and keep watching The Office. Now it's about 10:30 at this point, and you think, wow, I have something to do. Oh no. You realize you have a paper due at 11:59 p.m. Yep, that's right. So you get out your computer, you word vomit for an hour and a half, you turn in that crap, and then you sit down and you think, well, I'm so insecure and sad now that I'm just going to go back, and you watch 3 more episodes of The Office, you fall asleep, and you wake up the next morning in front of the TV still and think, well, no better way to start the weekend, and so you turn Netflix back on and keep watching. Now, I've given you this whole situation because I have a theory, and my theory is that the last 6 months or so have been one long Friday night. Now, I know in our culture we think Friday night, yes, that is the time we go out to the club and party until 4 a.m. That's what I do. Not really, that's not what I do. We're from Generation Z. Of course that's not what we do. Generation Z, our party rock anthem would just be one word. It would be meh. Right, you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, what do I do? Should I get up off the couch and go to a movie instead of watching them at home? Meh. Or your friend comes up to you and they're like, hey man, you want to order a pizza instead of eating frozen pizza every day? You're like, meh. Or, hey, do you want to do something with your life instead of being bored and miserable and anxious all the time? You're like, Meh. Look, you want to put on pants? You're like, meh. You get the picture, right? I think our lives for the last 6 months have been like one long Zoom blooper reel, right? Like, if you saw what you were doing in the background of someone else's Zoom call, you would like feel bad by osmosis. You'd feel like you need to like hold a little bit of a mourning ceremony for them. And I totally get it. Like, it's been me too. There was one day this summer where I woke up and I thought, I need to take a shower this morning. And I didn't do that, so I stayed in my pajamas all day and read Wikipedia articles from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's my 9 to 5 job, apparently, this summer, is reading Wikipedia articles. The way I like to think about it is like life has served us a terrible cocktail of boredom and anxiety. It's sort of like if you were to drink cheap tequila mixed with cough syrup, right? It's got just enough like of alcohol in there to keep you like hammered. That's the boredom, right? But then on the other side, you've got that taste of cough syrup. You're like, why is this still happening to me? This is disgusting. So if you're sitting there and you're anxious and confused like we all are, and you're thinking, how am I going to make it through this semester? Look, I believe in you. Really, I do. But also, don't be too hard on yourself. This has been a weird 6 months. And as we're thinking about segueing back into some semblance of normal King's life, I just want to encourage you with some words that I heard from a very good Starbucks marketing executive. We're here for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy unprecedented times.
All right, everyone, we're really excited for our first segment. Please welcome President Gibson and his wife, Mrs. Nancy Gibson. Welcome. Welcome to Unprecedented Times.
Thank you.
We are super excited to have you guys here. I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing? How's quarantining and being in New York been this summer?
I think it's been an interesting time, obviously, since we started tracking COVID in late January and February, and then of course had to make the decision to go to remote learning in March. But it's also given us an opportunity as a community to kind of step into some things that I don't think we would have come up with otherwise, like the virtual commencement, the virtual yearbook that was a huge hit with the class of 2020. Even the series of lectures that our faculty chose to do over the course of the summer months. And so I think we've seen a lot of good that we may not have otherwise realized out of it. So that's always exciting to see a community kind of lean into a circumstance that we wouldn't have chosen.
That's fair. Wow. Well, I know the school's taking really seriously this whole pandemic. And you know what? That reminds me. I should probably take your temperature. It'd be super important. So, if you just stay really still, I can figure out how to do this. Okay. All right. Right. Oh.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's 75. I don't know if that's okay. I'm just gonna say it's fine. We'll check that later.
It's not above 100.4, so I know we're good.
Okay, we're fine. Yeah. We're fine. Sorry about that. So, how about any quarantine projects? Have you gotten into anything? Any vices in the house?
Any vices? Well, so I did the quarantine, I got on the quarantine bandwagon and did the sourdough bread, and so nursed my starter along.
Carbs.
Let's see.
Come on, new project.
Okay. New
skill that you acquired.
I did. I worked on a new skill. That was hair cutting.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, amazing job.
Yeah, that he was a little nervous the first time, but it worked out well, I think.
Well, it has. It's worked out very well, even since barbershops have reopened. So we stuck with that.
And what about you? What were your?
So I would say the new thing that I picked up was origami.
That's right.
But not with paper. So years ago, Nancy and I discovered we enjoy kayaking, and so I was online one day and discovered they have origami kayaks. So they're made of plastic that's designed to fold up into a box, but completely unfold into a full-size kayak.
Wow.
And so we now have origami kayaks. They're actually pretty easy to transport on a subway, and there you go. So, and it's an outdoor activity, so it's easy to social distance.
No, wait a minute. I don't think you're offering full disclosure here. You also spent some time doing that driving racing game. What was that? There was a lot of
Video
racing.
games,
A lot of
Definitely.
Real Racing 3. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Real Racing 3. Check
There
it
you
out,
go.
guys. You have 14 days. Okay, well, I heard a rumor that Mrs. Gibson is actually one of the students this year who had a virtual commencement.
That's true.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
That's true, yeah. So for the past couple of years, I've been getting a master's degree at a small seminary up in Harlem. And so this last semester was me finishing up my thesis and spending time, like a lot of you all, doing classes virtually, and then, yes, indeed, a virtual graduation. So,
Well, congratulations.
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of freshmen and first years watching, so why don't we just give a little background on President Gibson? How'd you get to your position here as president of King's College?
So our journey to King's actually started back in 2011 or so when we first came for an Inviso with our oldest daughter, Jessica, who ended up attending King's in the fall of 2012. So we were living in Colorado at that time. I was still on active duty in the Air Force. I was the base commander at the Air Force Academy at that time. And then by her sophomore year, we had been moved to the Pentagon. So now we were on the East Coast, and that was more convenient. And we were invited to join the Parents Association as King's parents. And so we got to know the city a little bit more and got to know the staff and the faculty a lot better as we participated in that. And then by her junior year, we'd been moved again, this time to New Jersey. So we just feel like God has been drawing us closer and closer to New York City for a while. And so Jess graduated in 2016, and then I took a job here in August of that year. So,
But I will add that in that whole kind of God drawing us closer to King's each step of the way, when Jessica first proposed that she thought King's might be where she wanted to go to school, we were like, what? And Tim especially was like, no, that's a really bad idea. Why would you want to go to college in New York City? So we, like most of you all, came for an Inviso, and Tim spent that weekend just trying to peel back and look for something where he could say no to Jessica. But each kind of layer of the onion that we peeled back, we just kept falling more and more in love with the King's community.
Yeah, I know we're extremely happy to have you guys here, and I'm glad that you're sticking with us, even though your daughter has moved on.
Well, it just means that we get to be like ongoing King's parents. So that is the best part of it all.
Amazing. Well, and as a way to get to know you guys better, we actually have a little surprise. We have a game for you. So if you just look behind that pillow, you will find a little surprise.
Okay. Oh, no.
There's some boards and some
Okay,
markers, and
these
then
are-
also
these are
some napkins so
fancy.
you
Yep.
can wipe them off.
Okay, there you go.
So I just have a couple questions for you. They're fill in the blanks, so don't worry. They're not too hard, I promise. And we're gonna do like 5 seconds each question, and
Okay.
try not to look, and hopefully we'll get
No
matching
cheating.
answers. Okay, you guys
all right.
ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Where was your first date? Where was the Gibsons' first date? 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a long answer.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to look, but how
Okay,
much
yeah.
are you writing?
Okay, you ready?
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
No?
Did I get it right?
Oh, Fox's Den Pizza. Well, you're very close.
Fox's Den Pizza.
Very close,
And then we
which-
have my living room.
Yes.
No,
And
that's where we first met. That wasn't our first
our
date.
first date. Okay. All right.
Quick explanation.
Go ahead.
So Tim, I was a senior in high school. Tim was a senior at the Air Force Academy and sang in the cadet choir. And so
Wow.
came to my hometown in Kearney, Nebraska, and sang at kind of our high school, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Wow.
so as a part of that trip, all the cadets were housed with the church's families that kind of sponsor the trip. So I walked in after school one day, and he was in my living room. And he was ironing a pair of pants, and I thought I had never seen a man hold an iron in my entire life. And so that was the start.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, next question. Whenever you're ready.
All right.
What year did the Gibsons get married?
Oh.
Hopefully
That's
you
a-
have
Probably
a
should get this
answer.
one.
That's, why should I get this one?
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
1990.
1990.
1990. So we
That's-
just celebrated 30 years.
30 years. years. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Quick advice, one word. What's the magical thing that made it last?
What would you say? Is that a pop question? We're supposed to have 5 seconds to write that down.
No, I think that we both, we've always shared the same mission.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really good. I would have said communication. Like we actually, we work really hard even now on communicating effectively.
Yeah.
So that's important.
All right, next question. President Gibson's favorite food?
Oh. That's easy.
Ready? Go.
What'd you put?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburgers.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Straight up.
So the big debate in our family is Five Guys or Shake Shack. Yeah.
That's actually pretty tough.
Well, right?
I would say Five Guys.
Ooh,
Five Guys.
really?
No.
So much better. So much better.
Solidly Shake Shack.
I would disagree, but you know,
Lots
we'll
of
just
heads
move
are
on.
shaking.
All right. Mrs. Gibson's dream vacation.
Oh, that's easy one too.
3, 2,
My writing is so slow.
1. Australia.
So close.
Oh,
We actually had
So
it planned for our 30th anniversary this year.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But of course it fell through because of travel restrictions.
Yeah.
So
Well,
So we'll try
next
again.
Year, the
Maybe.
31, the
Maybe.
magical
exactly.
31.
That's
the
right.
magical 31, exactly.
That's what's
Well, it's
gonna
on the
have to
internet.
be.
It's across the international date line. Maybe no, that doesn't
that's
work.
Okay, next question. President Gibson, when he was younger, what did he want to be when he grew up? I guess. I have a guess. Is it pilot? That's my guess.
Ready?
Yep.
Marine biologist?
Marine biologist.
Really?
But I wasn't so sure I wanted to join the Marines.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
That's,
well, I was younger
wow,
then.
But in the STEM fields, but now you're the president of a liberal arts college.
That's
Right.
true.
Little known fact about President Gibson is that he actually graduated from the Air Force Academy with a degree, a Bachelor's of Science in English. I know, I see some raised eyebrows. True.
And actually,
more you
technically,
know.
yeah, technically, the service academies are all national liberal arts schools because of the broad-based curriculum.
That's
So.
great. Well, there is that joke out there that King's is run like a military academy.
Oh,
Wow.
not yet, but
Let's
I
not
can
take that
work
too
on that if
seriously.
you'd
Let's not take that too
like.
seriously. Let's not.
He might actually
Whoa.
take that as a compliment.
Well, yeah, know that some
funny.
students have said that before. The honor code is kind of reminiscent of something.
Oh,
military
that's
academies.
true. I've talked to Dean Leedy about how that was arrived at, and that is a fact.
All right, we have 3 more questions. Let's see. What is Mrs. Gibson's superpower if she could choose one? Flying or being able to move things with your brain and mind? Go ahead.
Ready?
Oh, nice.
Invisibility.
Yes,
Being
yeah,
invisible.
Being invisible, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that would come in really handy here in New York.
Yes. So, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sneak through crowds.
Right.
Wow, that'd be great. Okay.
Sit on a train and not have to, put your cloak of invisibility on, like the headphones, and yeah.
That's funny.
Same idea. Okay, this one hopefully won't start a fight, but we all want to know. Who won the last argument in the Gibson household? Was it?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Write down
Okay.
what you think.
Oh, right, because we are writing it down.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I
Who do we
think,
think won?
yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready? Me. They both
How'd
won.
you do? Yeah.
won.
Nice.
All right. Last question.
I'm surprised you don't want to unpack that one a little
You know
bit.
what? I thought about it, but I didn't want to dig too deep.
No, I'm happy to go into it because at the end of the day, you got what you wanted
Right.
out of the decision, and I had the discussion about how we reached the decision that I wanted. So in the
A
end, we both
compromise.
won.
Sure, yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
And
it worked out.
communication is key, for sure.
Communication.
Yep.
For sure.
Great. And last question.
Okay.
If you could describe Kings in one word, what would it be? This one doesn't have to match. We're just
I
curious.
love that question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One word
One
to
word.
describe Kings, or a hyphenated word if you want to get away with it.
Okay. Okay. I think
ahead.
I would choose intentional.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go with a theme of starting with the letter I, but I'm going to say intrepid.
Intrepid.
I like the adventurous nature of the staff and the faculty and the students that choose something like King's.
Amazing, great. Well, I guess final question for you guys. If you have any advice for the freshmen, the first year, or the returning students this year, go ahead.
Well, yeah.
So I would say that in the next 2 weeks that yes, we can anticipate there are going to be some challenges, but it is also such a great opportunity to learn more about each other, to lean into each other, to start that process of community building, and to offer each other some grace in the time, and well, I guess, and truly really to have fun. Just there are so many fun things planned. Just embrace this time.
Yeah, this is an incredible season in a young person's life, right? There have been some studies that say it's only second to your first 5 years of life are very formative, and your college years are the second most formative time. And so I was interviewed by the Empire State Tribune a while ago, and my answer now is the same as it was then about advice to students, and that is be present. So whether it's in a conversation with your roommates or in a class debate or when you're focused on your Bible in the morning, whatever it is, be present.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
And for our second guest, we have Doc Salyers, Associate Professor of Communications and Humanities here at King's. Welcome, Doc.
Micah, so good.
So good to see you. Hey, if you don't mind, just,
yes.
we're just gonna make sure that you get the good 6 foot rule. So just keep pulling that back. Yeah. We're at 5, 6. There we go. 6. Okay. Please stay right there. Do not move further. Do not move beyond that line. Thank you. Great. Well, how are you doing today?
I am doing really well. Well. Just helped a bunch of people move in, and that was always a fun event every year, every fall.
Do you think they're going to survive quarantine, or?
I do actually, because so many of us have,
There's hope for this year's freshman class. That's wonderful to hear.
Hope for humanity, as I like to say.
Hope for the humanities majors that are coming into King's. So I'm curious, Doc, because there are going to be a lot of freshmen who don't know who you are necessarily. Could you tell us just a little bit about yourself, a little bit of your backstory, how you came to be at King's?
Sure. I'm from Virginia, the homeland of American presidents, and enjoyed kind of living and breathing a lot of history as I grew up. My parents and grandparents just saw to it that I always got to experience different things. I think that made me just curious in terms of being a curious learner. So when I went off to school, I sort of kind of wanted to teach, but I hadn't landed on that yet. So I went into communication and media studies, studied both for my bachelor's and master's degree in Virginia, and then went on for my PhD in Florida, where I also worked for Disney while I was working on my dissertation. And I came here in the year 2000, and it actually wasn't my first teaching job. I'd been teaching since '93 on the college level, and then came here in the year 2000. So I am starting my 21st year at King's. Some of you little old children weren't even a sparkle in somebody's eye yet.
That is
especially the
remarkable.
freshmen. Yeah.
So you've been around King's 21 years. That's like right
20
since
years.
the beginning, right?
20 years. Yeah, it actually started a year before I came.
Okay.
Yep.
So
restarted, I should say, to our older alumni.
I'm curious, are there some older King's traditions or experiences that you remember that have, either faded into the past, or you just think people should know about now that they're...
Well, traditions. I don't know. When the school reopened, there are some things. For example, the official school song, things like that we've tried to retain. And I know that the Alumni Association helps, coordinate some things in that regard. Some of the new traditions, though, we started in the Empire State Building, and we're in there for quite a while, and then moved down here to the Wall Street area, financial district. And a lot of our new traditions come from folks in student development and the house system and things of that nature. Yeah, so I don't know, some of our better traditions involve retreats and ceremonial things and that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
can't think of one specific thing that
No, that's good. Now, Doc, in a lot of your classes, you incorporate documentaries and films, and I know you're a big Disney aficionado. So are there any, I know Disney Plus is really big right now. Are there any things on there that you'd like say, this is the thing you have to watch right now? This is like while students are in quarantine, they're sitting, I don't know what to do with my life. Maybe you can help them out a little.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, some equate Disney and Mickey as the Antichrist, but at least we can enjoy some good entertainment before, you know, the fall of all of man.
Right,
But anyway, a couple of new things that I really enjoy. There's a documentary series called The Imagineering Story on Disney Plus, which actually was up for an Emmy, I believe, very recently. And it goes through, I think in about 6 episodes, the history of Walt Disney Imagineering and building the theme parks and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun on that end. A brand new documentary called Howard just came out, which is about Howard Ashman, who was a lyricist. And many of you would, at least if you don't know his name, you'd know his music from Little Shop of Horrors and The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and all that good stuff. So that's kind of an interesting one. A good classic would be like Pinocchio or Snow White, of course, if you're into animation history like I am. Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a creative person?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So here's a little creative exercise for you. If you were to make a documentary about 2020 and the COVID pandemic and all the other crazy stuff that's happened this year, how would you make that happen? What would it look like?
For me, I'm a huge fan of Ken Burns, the documentary filmmaker, probably America's premier documentary filmmaker at the moment. All of his stuff's on PBS. But there was one that he did a number of years ago on World War II, and he focused on 4 American cities and then certain families in those cities. And how the war looked from their perspective. And it would be interesting to do something very similar to that, but focusing on the events of 2020, maybe highlighting, you know, different parts of the country, very specific towns or cities with families, that kind of thing. Just sort of a cross-section of what we've experienced nationally together, but also just from individual perspectives, using that as a lens, I would say.
You'd have a good eye into that, having lived in both Virginia and New York City. Those seem to be 2 very different places.
Sure.
That's cool. Now, one more thing about you, Doc, and maybe you've already, I don't know, this morning if you met some of the incoming Bonhoeffer freshmen, but you're the house advisor or the faculty advisor for Bonhoeffer, and. Well, I guess I'm just curious, what are your experiences like as the house advisor? Are there any really memorable things that have happened to you, stories, if they're not too secret?
Sure.
Houses are very...
No. Not at all. One fun thing for me is I've been the only and the same faculty advisor for that house for all of our 16 going on to 17 years. And so there's a great deal of continuity there with people, and that is just so much fun. And so, no secrets, but I would just say some of the better moments are typically around bonfires and retreats and things like that. I used to have an apartment with a huge backyard for 16 years here in New York, and we would have, every Sunday, we would have a cookout and a bonfire. So that was really special to me. Those are probably some of my most memorable moments around that little fire.
That's awesome. Do you cook any great meat?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
I love grilling. I do love a nice piece of seared flesh, friend. I'm sorry to our young vegetarian friends.
You know, they'll just have to get over it, probably, is what I'd say. No. One final thing, Doc, is Doc has been so kind as to share with us some of his wit and wisdom. And so what we'll have for you as sort of a recurring statement here on Unprecedented Times is a feature we're calling Doc's Daily Dose, where I think it's fair to say that you'll try to both amuse and impress people. And so
More on the amuse side.
more on the amuse side. Okay. So check this out. This is Doc's Daily Dose number 1.
Hello, I'm Dr. Steve Salyers. My friends and students call me Doc, and I hope if you're new to the King's College community that you'll feel comfortable doing the same. You know, I've been here for 20 years, starting my 21st year this fall, and the reason why I have stayed here and loved it and thrived is because of the community. And that's the hope I have for you, whether you're a new student or a returning student or an alumni from way back when, before even I was at the King's College. It is my great joy to get to experience this time with you, and I want to spend a few seconds of each program just wishing you well, making you laugh, and giving you something fun to think about. With that in mind, we honor the words of Walt Disney, who said, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors and trying new things because we're curious, and curiosity leads us down new paths." So keep being curious, work hard, enjoy each new day, and don't forget to eat your vegetables.
And that's over. Doc, thank you so much for being here. You're wonderful and hilarious and very great spirit to have around of levity on campus, which will be probably even more necessary this semester than in others. So thank you for your time here. Are there any final words you have for the freshman class as they're anticipating these next 2 weeks?
Rest, enjoy, make the most of the moments that you have in quarantine, which sounds odd, but you really can actually make it go by pretty quickly with some great conversations, getting some good rest, getting into some good habits and routines. You'll be good.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Micah Long and friends.
So everyone, if we're as you're sitting there and thinking, what am I going to do after this show ends? Because you're facing the existential dread of this show ending and not knowing what to do with your life. Well, what I'd recommend for you is 3 things. Number 1, follow TKC Council on Instagram. We'll be posting all sorts of trailers and promotions for you to get in touch with our next episode, which will be good. So that's number 1. The number 2 thing I want everybody to do is we're doing a little 1-second video challenge. The way this is going to work is during the credits of every show, we're going to give you an opportunity to be a part of the show, which is really cool because you'll probably get tired of seeing my face. And during this, what we just want is a 1-second video of you and your roommates dancing in your apartment. Trust me, it'll be worthwhile. It'll be fun. So while you're in quarantine, that gives you a little thing to do. Thing number 3, the Reverend Dr. Drew Johnson has kindly agreed to provide another form of wisdom. And what this is going to look like is submit your questions to Dr. Johnson, and he'll answer them. It'll be Dr. Johnson's life advice, but just be prepared. You're probably not going to get the advice you ask for. More to come on that later, but as we're signing off, enjoy those 3 things.
So I guess that's it for today.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great interviews, awesome guests, some funny bits.
So when can they expect to see us next? What's our next show? What are we doing?
Monday.
Monday, August 31st at 8 p.m.?
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
According to our production
team.
team.
Thank you all for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, at least for me. I can't speak to how she's feeling about these things. But yeah, great. Okay. See you later.
Wait, we have to clean this place. Hand me the Lysol. Let's go. Ugh. You know, they think they would have hired someone to do this, but okay, I'm sorry.